Hi everyone, how you doing? James here from Akamai, and I'm here at ChannelCon in Las Vegas. I've managed to stumble into one of, let's be honest, a bit of an industry legend, Karl Palachuk. Well. So Karl, you joined us last night for our MSP Luminaries event.
It was great fun.
So you had a good time at the event. How are you finding this?
Throwing darts, I thought it was quite sharp.
Indeed.
That was a pointed remark.
Were there any... So were there any injuries at all? Or?
No, not that I saw. So, but I was trying to stay away from the darts. I was like on the side where the dart couldn't possibly have hit me. So, I was being safe.
I think that's a good shout.
Yeah.
I was giving you guys a wide berth, I'll be honest with you. But fantastic to have you there anyway. So how are you finding the event? What are you seeing? Anything particularly new that's caught your eye, or any talks that you perhaps enjoyed?
Well, as usual, I'm loving the event. It's always great to talk to people. This is the event where you meet more people who are just a little bit higher up in the organization for a lot of the larger companies.
Sure.
And so that's always good to know and have that access. But also, ChannelCon's always discussing the future of the industry, and that's huge for me. I'm really focused on making this industry as amazing as it can possibly be, and to help people be as successful as possible. And I think ChannelCon works completely in that vein. So
absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. And the community side is it's second to none, really. I mean, it feels like everyone in the industry is gathered in this location today.
Yeah. Talk about fear of missing out. Like all the people who aren't here, are like, oh my God, there's James again and again and again and again.
I'm not sure it's me, but perhaps there are people that people are looking for.
I want to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a million ways we could take this conversation. There's been some interesting trends. I'm going to ask you, so the big topic of this event has been AI. So we should go there. I wasn't planning this, but I think maybe it's something. So let me get your take on just the opportunity there for MSPs. So what do you see? Anything immediate that you see? And where do you see it going?
I think the low fruit is to A, get educated on AI, and then B, educate your clients. Literally help them relieve their stress, their fear, their concern. All of the media is all about, how do we sell more things? Well, we sell more ads by having people be scared, right? Well, AI isn't scary, and it doesn't have to be scary. And the other thing is people who are worried about losing their jobs, okay, just so you know, that's 10, 15 years from now. In the short term, it's only going to create more jobs, and it's going to create jobs for MSPs and IT service providers who educate themselves on how to use it and train their clients. And then as people develop new products, those folks will already have clients who are open to it, and they'll try new things, and they'll have rich new sources of revenue. Like, I literally think that's the next 5-year plan for IT service providers.
It's going to be interesting to see what that suite of services look like, I have to say. One of the things that I picked up in one of the talks, actually, I think it was mentioned by Tracy Pound, was that actually, even obviously we're immersed in this stuff, so we love the tech and we want to know more and more about it, but actually for a lot of end users, particularly small businesses, they might have seen ChatGPT on the news, but really are not that bothered about the tech side of it, perhaps, but they just want the outcomes. So it's about the MSPs delivering the outcomes using whatever tech's out there, and that just happens to be the thing that's facilitating.
Right, but there's also, it's like anything else. If you don't have guardrails on it, then you might have some serious issues. Yep. So, again, educate yourself. Like, how do you make sure it's secure? How do you put data into it and know that data is only going to be visible to you and your staff and not the rest of the world, right? And that's not a difficult thing, but it's a checkbox. You have to know how to do it, and you have to teach your clients how to do it. And then when they begin to say, oh, this is actually pretty useful, then they can take it to the next level. And it's also one of the things, you and I are lucky to be alive at this moment in history because AI is going to define the next 20 years.
Yeah.
And we're literally just seeing it emerge, which is amazing because you don't see that with a lot of technology.
No, it's one of the most exciting trends going. There hasn't been a time I've been more excited about the tech space, I have to say. So you are a Linode customer, aren't you? This is something you just revealed to me, which I wasn't aware of. That's great.
So, what happened is, we were with, I won't name the hosting company, we were with another company for...
That's fine.
For over a decade.
Okay.
And just one thing after another, we made the decision last year, we want to migrate everything to something that is simpler, more powerful, more flexible, and that we can work with Cloudways to just click a button and move everything at once. And we literally moved 37 domains from this old service to Linode servers.
So one of our partners, Cloudways, right? That's the
yes.
Yeah, sure.
In like 14 days. And it was just, it was super easy, and since then we've tweaked some of the servers a little bit and added a few things here and there, but it is 98% the way it was the day we set it up, and it just works, and I've never had any issues with anything. And anyway, we made the decision because it was powerful and easy, and so I don't, I'd be happy if you want to pay me to promote you, but
yes, absolutely, we'll do that. That's fine. That's fine.
That was not why we did it, or otherwise I would have told you a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. So obviously we're quite big on open source technology. We had a chat earlier on about the sort of some of the misconceptions around open source. What are your thoughts on the sort of open source tech for MSPs?
Well, it's funny because I started in technology in the 1980s, right? So Linux was old when Microsoft Windows was new, right? And so I've seen it, here and there over the years, and there was a time, but the time was 20 years ago when you had to hire an in-house engineer at $80,000 to make your desktop work.
Yes.
Right? Those days are long, long, long gone, and a lot of the fears about open source are outdated, and people just need to get over that, because nowadays so many powerful tools are based on open source, and it's a component that you put into things, and then you build up the real product, and you provide good support and good services, and in many ways automated upgrades, and a lot of stuff just plugs together, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the roadmaps tend to move pretty quickly as well in terms of product development, because there's a big community behind it. As you say, it's that sort of commercializing it as well and providing a commercial support layer, which is the
right. Well, and it's funny because some of the worst tech support now comes from the biggest companies, right? That's just the way the world works.
Yeah.
But if you've got, let's say you got a website, that's where most people are actually using a bunch of open source, even though they don't think of it in those terms.
Yep.
You look at your website and you got 32 plugins, all made by different people, and they all have to work together. But most of them have the best customer service you're ever going to find.
Yes.
Because it's a small company, and it's easy to get a hold of the guy who knows how to fix that thing that when you're working with that other plugin that wants to do something else, right? So I do think a lot of the fear is outdated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Of course, I definitely agree on that. So we talked a bit about Linode, we touched on AI. Can we learn more about what you're up to these days? So tell me. So I know you've got a training academy that you put together. So perhaps you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So IT Service Provider University is dedicated completely to the business side of running an IT business. Okay. So we have a couple of little technical things here and there, but for the most part, what we put together is a series of 5-week classes. We do 10 of them live each year. So there are 50 weeks of live training each year. And then we have a total of 25 classes, and we have different pathways. So you could get certification in service management. You can get certification in front office and finance. You can get certification in sales and marketing, right?
Where are the most popular ones, would you say? I'm interested to know. Where do you see? Where do people need the most help, would you say?
Well, where they need the most help is there's a track for managers and owners. But that's not the most popular. Managers and owners send their service managers to do the service and technical track.
Got it.
Even technicians need to know the business side of the business. Technicians can't be just technical. They have to know why we enter all of our time into the system, why we effectively use a PSA, how to effectively use a PSA, how you manage a ticketing system, why we bill for all of our time and why we bill in advance. In some sense, those are business decisions, but it's part of the big model of managed services, that the mentality of how you make money in this industry. And if everybody comes into it with an off-the-shelf break-fix model, that's probably not your brand. So we're actually helping companies, because here's the deal. 10 years ago, you could not have hired somebody with 10 years experience in managed services.
Sure.
You couldn't have hired a technician, a front office, an accountant, right, a salesperson. Well, skip ahead. Now you can hire somebody with 10 years experience, but they're incredibly rare and hard to find.
Yes, and expensive.
So if you can't find them, the other alternative is you can build them.
Yeah.
Right? And we have a holistic view of what managed services is, and we have a variety of instructors. So it's not just me, Rayanne Buccianico and James Kernan, Manuel Palachuk. We have a whole bunch of people who are kind of the best in their industry, teaching about the things that they do better than anybody else. And so it's great, and we only charge $399, which there are literally people who are buying small little bitty classes for $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. We give you 5 weeks with a lot of handouts and a lot of opportunity to have interaction with the instructors. All the instructors have office hours for all of the students. So
Fantastic. It seems like it's a much needed service, and as you say, that's a pretty reasonable price point. So if somebody's interested in that particular training course, where should they go?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking.
Not a problem. You can get your plug in.
Question. So go to itspu.com. IT Service Provider University.
Okay, and it's a simple sign up straight away.
Oh, yeah. And the only thing that's complicated is if you want to buy a whole bunch of classes,
Okay.
you should probably join my community and save a bunch of money.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. That sounds good.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, you've got so many fingers in so many pies that you've got the books and so on. So head on over to Karl's website to find out more about all the fantastic work you've been doing over the years. Karl, it's been brilliant to have you. I really appreciate you joining us last night, and it's been really nice to chat to you at the show.
It's great chatting with you because literally a year ago this week, you and I were in the UK, wandering around, meeting with new partners and having dinner, and it was a great time, and I really appreciate your support.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was definitely one of the perks of the job for sure. So yeah, listen,
Exactly.
Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
You too.
Cheers.